consistently uploading my photos. And then I made my first sale.
Exciting.
I earned $150 on that one. That photo could also license to someone else. The light bulb went off and I was like, oh my gosh, like there's actual earning potential here.
Hi, Photo BFFs, and welcome to another episode of the Edit Weekly. I am Amanda from Seattle.
And I'm Whitney from Minneapolis.
And you guys are going to love today's guest. Aubrey Westlund is a photographer and coach who helps creatives actually make money from their work, especially through stock photography and digital licensing. She used to shoot weddings, but now she is all about helping photographers create income that's more sustainable and less exhausting, which to me is like, yes, please. Her stock images are totally gorgeous, and she's licensed photos to publications such as Vogue, Real Simple, one of my favorites, and Food and Wine. So if you've ever wondered how the heck stock photography works, and I am one of those people, or how to make real money with it without spending hours a day on it, this is the episode for you. So Aubrey, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I am really excited. I've been following you on Instagram for a while now. And I think it was on Threads, you posted something about like, hey, I'm up to like be interviewed for a podcast. Is anybody, out there? And I was like, yes, oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. So I reached out to you and so I'm excited to actually meet you today since I've been following your amazing work. And I think this is going to be a topic that a lot of our photographers that are tuning in are going to be interested in because most of them are starting their businesses and don't really either maybe have a specific niche that they're going into quite yet, or maybe they're thinking about a couple of different things. And I think just what you talk about stock photography, there are so many options you can do with that, no matter what genre of photography you end up going into.
Right.
So I would love for you to tell us a little bit about your path to photography and what inspired your pivot from wedding photography to stock photography.
Sure, I'd love to. And I'll just start out by saying I think that stock photography is perfect for people who are still starting out and like trying to explore where they want to go with photography and what they want to focus on, because stock photography really allows you to, like you say, try out different things and almost like gives you this freedom because it's not like you're focused on your niche to like draw on the right person. It's like you're testing it out and you can upload them and probably make some money from them, but there's just like not this pressure of like I have to stick to my niche and like in order to attract the right type of client, because like with stock photography it doesn't really matter. So I started in weddings like in 2013, I think, and loved it for like the first 5 years, and then I think this happens to many wedding photographers. Like, I just kind of started to lose the passion for it. Everything started to feel the same. As I began charging more, I feel like the weddings just got more stressful. There were more people to deal with, just like more vendors. And so I developed a little bit of anxiety from that. And then I also, there's always like a slow season, probably with every type of photography. That also like brought on anxiety for me. Like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Am I going to have enough clients this year? But I also like don't want to have 30 clients this year like I did last year.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that is a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
Like at some point you're like, I want to earn more, but I also don't know if I want to keep doing this. So what am I going to do next? And stock photography was never like my plan. I actually didn't like it kind of fell into my lap, to be honest, because at the time, this was in 2016, a new agency. It was actually like an offshoot of Shutterstock.
Oh,
and it's called Offset. It's still around, but now it's no longer a separate stock site. It's like on the Shutterstock site, and it's basically like their premium version of Shutterstock that it costs more than like their main collection. And so when they were starting out, they were looking for professional photographers. Like they needed to build this collection. They needed to actually get photos. And so they were really looking for professionals. I don't know how they found me, but they reached out. And at first I just ignored the email because, you get so many of these invitations and you're just like, what is this? Is this a scam? Is this real?
Yeah. Oh
And
my
then
gosh,
it was
totally.
once
like
that
scam alert.
Exactly. It's just like, okay, this is just a cold email, but I didn't delete it. I just didn't respond. And then that slow season rolled around and I was like, well, I do remember that invitation. Like maybe this is something I should explore.
Yeah.
And yeah, quickly, like once I started chatting with them, I realized, oh, this is a legit thing. Like I looked up stock photography. But I liked how it looked different. It's not like the stock photography that you think of with like people eating their salads and big smile on their face. Like it looked, it looked more like the photos I took, like natural and just like families being together, more like that documentary style. So I was interested and I started uploading photos. And I think it was like, I want to say it was like 4 to 6 months of consistently uploading my photos. And then I made my first sale and I earned I think it was $150 on that one. So a sale is actually someone is paying for the license to use it. So I earned a license fee, but that photo could also license to someone else. So that's when I kind of like the light bulb went off and I was like, oh my gosh, like there's actual earning potential here.
Yeah.
And so it was never really my intention to like become a stock photographer, just do stock photography. But 2020 rolled around and it became basically like our main source of income. So
wow.
That is awesome.
And the interesting thing is that like when that happened, and even now with like recession talk and how what's happening with the economy, like although people may be hiring photographers less and less and like cutting their budgets, like stock is where they go because even if they are purchasing premium stock and spending like $500 on one license, that costs less than putting together an entire shoot and getting models and all of that for the one photo they need, right? So that's kind of like how it works.
I love it. And I am so excited to hear from you as well. So I was a wedding photographer for 12 years and like burnt out and just quit. Just quit everything for a while. But there was a point I looked into doing stock photography and I've done some of those, smaller sites and made like very tiny amounts. And it was interesting. So I did do a stock photography course, but it was by this man that did a lot of the more, like you were talking about, the traditional, more posed, or like somebody's like on a phone and making a like, oh, I'm talking. Yeah. And I just was like, that's not me. I don't want to do that. And I never followed through. And then seeing your work, it's so creative and unique, and it's very much your own style. And so I love it. And so I'm really excited to hear more about how you do this. And so I do think, even though it's good for new photographers, for somebody as well that has like burnt out from what they're doing.
Yeah,
exactly. Like this might be a nice little, like a nice little refresh almost too.
Right.
And being able to flex your creativity muscles maybe in a way that you haven't been able to with what you've been doing. I definitely know that I think the longer that most of us photographers are in the business, especially if we stick to one thing, that tends to happen. We just kind of get burnt out with what we're doing. And so to be able to maybe have an outlet for those creative ideas you have that don't really work for your genre that you're in, like this could be a really awesome opportunity to be able to do that. And I love that you said that So you went like 4 to 6 months consistently uploading before you made any money on it. And what I'm curious is you said that you like your first license sale, if you want to call that, you made like $150. So I hear people in the photo industry talk all the time about how you make like literal pennies. So what I am wondering about is how did you find that way then to license your images for as much as you have been able to, like $100, more than that? Like, what does that actually look like in practice?
Yeah, so that's the biggest misconception is that when people hear stock, they're actually thinking of microstock. I mean, these agencies, Shutterstock, Getty, iStock, like the ones that most of us know, they're the big ones. They're the ones that have been around for 20 years. They're the ones that they get millions of people visiting their site every month. So they kind of like they have like the upper hand where they definitely care more about the customers than the contributors. So unfortunately, some of these agencies have over time lowered the commission. Like they'll do things like they'll lower the commission. They'll start selling like subscriptions. So that's where like you'll make even less because they'll sell a subscription that gives someone 500 photos a month, right? So you're only getting a piece of that, and you don't really have the control over what they do. And that's where you get like those penny sales that most people are familiar with because their focus is volume. They are not focused as much on quality. They're focused on quantity. So pretty much anyone can contribute. Like your photos have to pass the like yes or no process, but there's no like application that you have to go through.
Interesting.
So they just want they want a lot of photos. They want to sell a lot of photos at a very low price point. So premium stock kind of came along for the clients who were like, we want something more creative. We want something more refined. We don't want to have to sift through millions of photos. Like, we don't want to sift through the garbage, right? Like, that's really, it's like, there's a lot of garbage. Now there's a lot of like bad AI photos that you have to sift through.
Oh my gosh, seriously.
And it's just, it's bad. It's not a good experience. And even like, the customers, you'll find them complaining about the experience of like the quality of the photos have gone down. So premium stock is a completely different world. And I like to, so many photographers are familiar with this idea of like a luxury client versus like a budget client, right?
Yes.
So the luxury client cares more about the experience. They maybe want it to feel more exclusive. So premium agencies cater to that type of client where it's like these photos, you're not going to see them everywhere because free stock photos are everywhere because they're free, or cheap ones they're just so accessible and so many people have access to them, where it's like, I'd rather pay $500 to have a more exclusive photo, and these are like big brands that like it matters. And even like if they're using AI, that's going to hurt the image of their brand. So most of these premium agencies, like they don't accept AI unless the work's like really, really good. So it's completely different world. It's a completely different experience. And there are other things like some of these agencies, they will actually like offer curation assistance. So their client may come and say like, this is what we're looking for. And they'll either like put together options for them, or they'll do like one of my agencies, they'll send out emails and they'll say like, we have a client looking for this type of photo. Like, please submit it to us so that we can, like, and that's great because it tells us like exactly what people are buying.
Yes, that's amazing. Yeah. That's really cool. And that totally makes sense, like you said, between the luxury versus the budget. I have noticed, as I've been getting newsletters from some of the same companies that I've been subscribing to forever, I have definitely noticed that their images are so much AI right now. Like the weird sixth finger that has shown
Yeah.
up, the weird person that like who
It just-
definitely isn't an AI
like,
person. It doesn't
feels
it feels
different.
it
Like,
does. It doesn't
feels off.
it does. It feels very off, and you can look at an image and it's funny because I feel like that distracts me from the rest of their messaging. That's what I first go to. So that is really fantastic that there are stock agencies out there that are luxury and really do cater to that clientele. I mean, that makes sense then why you would want to work for a company like that and submit your images.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, how do you find these companies? Is it one of those things where once you kind of get your foot in the door with one agency that it opens you up to other options?
Well, I personally I do a lot of research and networking.
You do. Okay.
And I've actually had amazing agencies reach out to me because they're looking for contributors. And so, like, I'm kind of in a lucky position now.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like, in some ways they need me to get better contributors.
Yeah.
But I think we're actually in a really cool time because there are a lot of smaller niche agencies popping up. They're just like, there's this gap. Like, people are feeling so unsatisfied with the giant microstock agencies. They want a better experience. They want something that feels really real. Like, there's kind of like this pendulum swing where brands are using photos that are more imperfect than they've ever felt. Like, you know, before, like, what we think of stock is like the shiny studio portraits and that sort of thing. And that was popular for a time. But now, like, brands realize if we're going to reach people and if we want them to, like, form a connection or if we want to be relatable, like, we need photos and videos that feel real, like, so that our customers can relate to us. And so it's sung to where it's like the more real that it feels, the more imperfect that it feels, the better. And so I feel like a lot of agencies have come to fill this gap. And then they're, like I said, niches. So there are a lot of like subscription agencies now for like small business owners who need like really beautiful, refined, like editorial style photos. So now we can get that in one place. So yeah, it's actually like a really cool time to get into it because there are some really great options when it comes to agencies that weren't available before.
That's awesome. That's so great. Okay, so I want to know then, how long did it take before you actually started seeing real income from bringing in these stock licenses?
Yeah, so there's a lot of upfront work, and there is something about being consistent that really kind of boosts your work in the algorithm. And like the more photos you get in your portfolio kind of pushes you out to people because it's like, oh, well, they're looking for family photos and they looked at one of your family photos and you have like 500 more. So let's show them that. Right. So after that first sale, every month my earnings started to grow pretty much.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was like after like, I want to say 6 months. So that from the point I made my first sale for the next 6 months, over the next 6 months, I think I made like $3,000 or $4,000. And
Okay.
so, I mean, and I was also like, that was like a really good time to get in. So I would say like my students don't have like such quick success these days, but they do like the longer they're in it, the more their earnings, like their monthly earnings continue to grow. So it kind of has like this snowball effect.
Okay.
If that
That's
makes
awesome.
sense.
And when you talk about like uploading consistently, is this like a once a day, 10 times a day? I'm just so curious. Like,
I would say a minimum of once a month.
okay.
So
that's not as much as I was imagining.
like weekly would be great. It also kind of depends. Like some agencies will review your photos like within 5 days. Other agencies might take a month or two. Like some of these smaller agencies, they do things differently. So the way that you submit might change from agency to agency.
Yeah.
At this point, I would say I probably submit like at least 500 photos a month across all my agencies.
Wow.
But I've
Okay.
also I've
Yeah.
been doing this for a long time, and
Yeah.
I kind of like I know how to fit it into my workflow so that it's
Yeah.
really like doesn't feel like a big deal to submit that many
Yeah.
photos.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, like now we have some great AI tools that actually like will help me with the process. So
Yes, I know. Like the pros and cons of AI. I feel like
yeah.
it's, you know,
So I think
yeah.
like and just like knowing what to submit, because I think at first like people feel really discouraged by the amount of photos that they have that actually get rejected. And so now I know, like, I know what my each agency likes. And I know, like, well, this one, like, the main, say, like, the main person's face is a little bit soft or blurry. And I know this agency doesn't like that specifically. Like, it's, you just, like, get to know them.
You get
And
so you get
so-
to know though, which is great. And it
and
makes
so
sense though
then,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't waste your time submitting something that's going to get rejected.
Okay, this is a perfect segue into my next question about what makes a stock photo sellable. So it sounds like certain agencies have different things, but are there certain qualities or subjects or like storytelling elements that photographers tend to overlook? Or like,
Yeah.
what makes a photo sellable when it's for stock?
Well, like I said before, anything that feels real, like that has emotion, kind of like the opposite of what you feel when you look at AI, that's doing really well right now. There are 5, like, I call them subjects that sell, and these are like the 5 most popular categories, I would say, for stock. But
Okay.
there's actually a lot that fits into each one. So the first
Okay.
one is health. So this can include like exercise, health foods, health care, like all of that. The second one is technology, and this is like constantly changing, but just kind of like showing technology as like a part of our lives is the
Okay.
idea.
Okay. Yeah.
So like people using like smart thermostats in their home or people on their phones,
Okay.
like working on a laptop, that sort of thing. Which is like really easy to fit in if you're already doing a shoot. It's like having someone look at their phone or something like that, right?
Yeah.
The the next one is work. So this is like a pretty big umbrella, but people working from home, people in the office. So this is kind of like the more traditional subject that has always been big with stock,
Yeah.
but there are like very modern ways that we can show it because work has changed. Like so many people work
my
from
gosh.
home now.
No kidding.
So many people work on the go. There are different types of careers now, right? So yeah, there's like a lot you can fit under that umbrella. Then relationships. So this would be like families, couples, friends, like multiple people in one photo. That always does well, like people coming together. And then the fifth one, I think I did 4. The fifth one is seasonal. So this is like
Okay.
holidays, milestone, graduation, day, all the big holidays, especially like the big consumer holidays. So the ones that
Yeah.
are like big in America. America's like the top buyer of stock photos as well.
Okay.
So
Oh, okay.
you can do this from anywhere in the world. And there are like most stock agencies are international. So they sell to everyone, like people all over the world. And they also have contributors from all over the world. But it's
Okay.
very like America centric in that way that like we're just the top consumer in many ways of everything. So
It's not surprising. Yeah.
yeah.
Very cool. So then with those 5 different topics, and you said a bunch of stuff under there, like under those umbrellas, if you will, so many things you can cover. So if a brand new photographer only has like 20 minutes that they can spend a week to dedicate on stock images, what do you think is the smartest, most strategic way for them to use that time then to build something?
I saw this question and I was like, how should I answer this? Because I feel like there's so many ways to answer it. But I do think like part of it depends on your personality. If you don't handle rejection well, then I would probably spend some time studying stock photography, learning about the agency, like you could just sign up for an agency and like study all their rules basically. And a lot of agencies, they'll at least tell you like, this is what we're looking for right now. Or you can kind of like browse what they're showing on their front page, what they're showing. Like they'll usually put together like collections based on the season or what's popular. So study those because it tells you like this is exactly what people are buying, what the agency wants to see. It gives you clues to that. So you can do all of that. Obviously, like I have a lot of educational resources. I would be careful. I'm not just saying this because, like, oh, that's my competition, but like, just be careful when you're reading like forums and stuff online because a lot of those have to do with people, like I said before, who are only used to microstock.
Okay.
So that's where you're going to get the wrong kind of advice. It's not going to be the advice probably that you're looking for if you want to do premium stock. So um I think I gave you guys the link for my little black book of stock photo agencies.
Yes, which I will
So
definitely. I have a couple questions about that
okay.
next as
Well,
well.
I won't say too much about that, but that's a great free resource to start with. And then from there, like go through your photos and see what you have that fits. You can also, for some people, it's like that waiting game of like, the 4 to 6 months where I was uploading and didn't see any sales. Like that can be really defeating for people. So just remember that it's normal and maybe set a goal to like, I'm going to upload 500 photos like within the next 6 months, or make it
Such
more
a good
about
idea.
like building your portfolio than like the money you want to make in the beginning, because that's really where it's going to get you to where you're making the sales. But obviously it's hard. I think it's hard to do something that we don't have like that external motivation for. Right?
That is such good advice. And on that, I was wondering, so if somebody's brand new and like they don't have a website or anything yet, but they're like, I want to do stock photography, should they be building just a general portfolio website, or could they actually just find an agency and start doing that? But I'm guessing at some point they'll need to actually show them what they can do.
So you don't have to have a website, but they will want to see a portfolio. So what I always recommend is like use a portfolio website, something like Pixie Set, where, like you can start building your portfolio. Kind of think of it as like, this is your artist portfolio, right? Like this is my body of work that I can share to an agency so that they can see like, this is what I can do. Some agencies do prefer to see that you are a working professional and have a website. So it just depends. But if you have a really strong portfolio, even if it's just like on Pixie Set or another gallery, I think like there are free galleries, like I think Adobe, if you use Adobe products, I think you can now do like a website, portfolio website or something. So there's free options. And if your work stands out, then like that's what matters the most to them, right? So don't worry so much about the fact that you're not a professional and you don't have like a professional website. Like focus on the work that you share.
So good. Yes, that's great. And I have I do have an Adobe website.
Cool. You do?
Portfolio.
That's how you know.
Perfect.
I never share. It's one of those, like I just kind of made it and just general. It's not great. I haven't updated it in over 10 years.
Oh.
But it's still there.
But it's now you can.
It's still there. Yes. Oh.
Okay.
That's funny.
So I'm going to pivot a little bit. You on Instagram tend to talk about romanticizing your life and turning that into content that sells. So can you break that down for someone who's maybe unsure how their everyday moments could be valuable as stock?
Yeah. So we kind of talked about those 5 subjects that sell.
Yeah.
And when you really think about it, a lot of those subjects, like what fits under them, they're kind of boring, right? Like work, um, it's just like health, like
Yeah, technology,
someone going for a run.
yeah.
Like they're
Yep.
not like it's not like the hero image that would be on the
Yeah.
top of your website. It's like the boring snapshots that you take of just like your everyday life. Um but that's like what connects us all, right? Like an image of a mom
Yeah.
folding her laundry. It's like that's what I can relate to, not like the guy on the
Yeah.
mountaintop, right? Like
Yeah.
I'd love
I
to
am
be that guy,
literally
but
right. I am literally like but like behind where my laptop is, there is a huge pile of laundry that gets to be folded after this.
Oh, yeah.
So that is
Oh,
the
yeah.
life I am currently living.
I've got to load in the laundry and dry stuff on my bed, right? So again, it's like it's that relatability factor that brands need. But it's like, how can we shoot that in like a more like beautiful way? And as photographers, like we have that skill usually of like seeing things, seeing the beauty in those everyday moments and capturing them. So like, yeah, that's kind of what they need. Like they need the mundane, but they need it to be like on par with their brand. So it just needs to be like leveled up a bit. So I always say like the money is in the mundane, but how do we
I like
shoot
that, the
that
money is
as
in
an
the mundane.
artist?
So I just keep thinking, and maybe, I mean, this is probably not a new idea for you, but it's like, because there are times I'm like, I would love when you see influencers online and they make these beautiful shots of how their life would look. And
Yeah.
I love all that. But at the same time, being online all the time and like, that's not me. Like, I don't want to be that person, but this sounds like something I can do that and not actually have to market it as myself. Like I can
there's
go take those beautiful shots and then
there is
just
no marketing
upload it to an
required
agency.
to do this,
Yeah.
which is like, I feel like so freeing for a lot of us.
Oh my gosh.
It's like,
Okay.
it doesn't affect any part of it really.
My mind is
Like,
blown.
The agency does
I'm
the
like,
marketing
yes.
for you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
But that's also why, like, you're not making 100%. You're probably making like 50%. So there's like
Yeah.
a commission split. But I mean, I don't care. I'm like, I get to upload it and forget about it. That's so nice.
That's really nice.
I have talked to so many photographers, and we have talked to so many photographers, and they're like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to write my Instagram post. I don't want to be on camera. That's just such a common thread. And so this is such a great solution. And so, and then you also get to go and take photos that you like. Maybe you have rejection. You do get rejected a lot of times, but it's not the same as like that personal, like I'm marketing myself and you're rejecting me. It's more like, I don't like this photo. I think that's such a
Or sometimes it's not like something I tell my students if they get rejected by an agency they apply to. Usually that has nothing to do with you. It just has to do with like what they need to add to their collection at that time, or like what they're missing right now. And so sometimes like you may just not be showing them the right part of your portfolio, or you know, like, so there's so many factors that go into it. It's usually not a rejection of your work. It's just like more of a strategy on their end, like what they're looking to add, and or like maybe what they already have too much of. So there's that too.
Well, thank you for sharing all this info. And
Yes.
speaking of sharing, you are so generously giving our audience a freebie, which is, I made myself a note so I wouldn't mess up, the Little Black Book of Stock Photo Agencies. And you're also giving our audience a discount on their first month of your Stock Photo Besties community. So can you tell us a little bit more about both of those so our audience knows what they'll be getting?
Yes. So the Little Black Book of Stock Photo Agencies, which I kind of mentioned earlier, really breaks down the different types of agencies, sort of like we talked about today. And I kind of break down the more well-known agencies and show you like, here's what the commission is like, here's what they accept and what they don't.
Awesome.
Because that is a good place for people to start. If
Yeah,
they're not ready
exactly.
to like apply to a premium agency right away, those agencies, that's kind of where you start to learn about what customers want. And then as you build your portfolio, you can apply to a premium agency. So I also list those premium agencies in there. And yeah, it's just kind of a really helpful guide that breaks all of that down. And
I'm
then,
excited to look at it myself too.
I know. I'm like, I am getting this freebie.
I have like a new, it's not a freebie, it's a $7 guide, and it is in my Instagram bio. But it's
Perfect. We'll link to all of that and all your socials too in the show notes.
$7. It's
And
basically free.
yeah, it's
Yes,
it's a
exactly.
coffee.
It's kind of like a lead magnet for my email list. That's why it's only $7, but it is worth so much more. It's called License It, and it's basically a guide for photographers, and it shows you how to like work this into your business, even like how to build a program to actually like get your clients to sign a model release for stock, and like so that you can like do them together in tandem and build like a second income stream into your business. So I also highly recommend that.
So smart.
But then Stock Photo Besties is basically, so I started out with a course, Stock Photography Academy, which I still have, and that will teach you, like, it'll walk you through all the basics. Like, here's, I go in depth on those 5 subjects that sell. I walk you through like model releases, property releases when you need those things, all of the like basics. But then Stock Photo Besties is the place where I could tell like I needed something for people to help them keep going. Like they needed support. They needed like they needed a cheerleader to tell them like,
we all need a cheerleader.
Like just keep going. You're getting there. Like this is normal. And then I send out like a trend report every month. So here's what you should upload this month. Here's what you should be shooting, like based on what's happening right now.
Yeah.
We have like a community group where people can ask me questions, and a private Instagram. So in the private Instagram is kind of like bite-sized lessons, that sort of thing, or like behind the scenes, just kind of like whatever I'm working on. And we share our wins in there. And I basically like wanted to create another course that's like the next level. And it's just about premium agencies and premium clients. And like, okay, you've got the basics down. Here's how we're going to get you into your dream agency. Here's what they're looking for. Like, here's how to choose one. Here's what their clients look like. So this is the type of work you should be submitting here. So it's just like, it's more focused on the people that are like, I'm committed, I want to keep going, and I want to get into these great agencies. Stock Photo Besties is like all of that. It's really fun.
I was gonna say it sounds like such a fun community.
I don't know. I'm like, have you just gained 2 new clients from me and Amanda? Maybe.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What? I mean, that's such an amazing value to offer that to people, because you're right. There is so much when we work on our own that, you know, you just kind of get stuck, and to have other people there that are working on the same thing that you are. There is such value to having a community. I think especially when you go down a photographer path where it tends to be a solo venture.
Right.
One of the only things that I miss about my like way former job before I went full on into photography were the coworkers. Because I mean, you always have some bad ones, but the really amazing friends that I made that I still talk to, where, you know, every day you looked forward to seeing them and chatting with them. And so to be able to have a community like that where you can get at least some of that back when you are working alone a lot of the time, I think that that's amazing. And or some of us who have kids and we just talk to kids a lot, like really love chatting with an adult. It's really nice to be able to do that.
This is like my adult chat.
Yeah. I was just talking to a friend yesterday and I was like, I miss that we're like as an adult, it's hard to make friends, but when you're like in school with people or in a class with people, or that's school, but like in a job, like
but like,
you
yeah.
see people every day and like you build these
Mhm.
relationships and like I just miss that as an adult and
Yeah.
especially as like a solopreneur. Like
Yep.
it's amazing and it's like so fulfilling, but it's also like very isolating too. So
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think
Very much
communities
so.
It
are
really can
very
be.
important.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That has been one of my favorite things about starting this podcast is getting
Yeah.
to meet amazing people and having this
Yes.
be like, well, Whitney and I pretty much have to meet once a week. So,
Yes.
I have that to look
Right.
forward to. But
Yeah.
yeah, just, somebody else you can also not only the like community and the relationship part of it, but I think being able to bounce ideas off of other people that are in the same mindset, in the same
Yeah.
industry, I think that that's really invaluable too. And I think that that can help you creatively to come up with different ideas and just, maybe
Right.
work through some things. And maybe somebody says something that sparks an idea in your head that you wouldn't have otherwise. So there's just so much value to having a community, and whether that is in person
Yeah.
or online. And I think that that is just so incredibly valuable. So thank you so much for offering that up to our
Of
audience. We
course.
really appreciate it.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I just want to add like in stock photo besties when we share our wins, like some people might think like why would I share what I'm selling because then someone else is just going to upload the same thing, but it really gives us an advantage because we can share and see like this is where the demand is right now. This is
Yeah.
some people might have a similar photo that they just didn't think was worth uploading, and seeing that they're like, okay, yeah, I can upload that. Or there are certain agencies, like sometimes it's really hard to figure out what an agency wants. And so we'll also share, like, I got these photos accepted. And it just
Yeah.
like, it's so great. It helps everyone. And we're just like in this really unique position where we get that information to each other. Like we can get
Yeah.
to share that with each other. And so I think
That's
that's,
really
yeah,
cool.
it's super unique.
And I love hearing you share about this because one of the reasons that we even started this is because we all know how important it is to have other photographers cheering you on.
Mhm.
Because when you're starting, there's really two paths. You're either going to go down the path of I'm doing this all myself. I don't want to share any of my secrets. People are going to steal from me.
Mhm.
And there are people with that will do do that. But also if you find communities that are willing to open up and talk and share when one of us starts to grow and we help each other grow, you're going to do so much better. And that's
Yeah.
how all of our businesses were able to grow when we started. And we even, I think we have a whole podcast on this, or we at least have talked about it when Erin was with us. Like each of us were able to grow because we found other people that were supportive and cheering us on. And there's so many benefits. And so what you're doing totally aligns with our vision. And I think if you are starting, like this is where you want to start, is find other people to cheer you on.
Exactly.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's so important.
Okay. We are wrapping up towards the end of our interview.
Yes.
And we always ask everybody the exact same question for our very last one, which is a big one.
Oh no,
which
I didn't
is,
study.
there you go, right? So looking back, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently in your career?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is always I always love ending on this one. It's so fascinating to me to hear what everybody has to say.
I mean, to go along with what we just talked about, like I feel like for the majority of my career, I was like kind of isolated. I didn't have that community aspect. And then maybe like 5 years into it, I started meeting other photographers and becoming friends. And like, just like you said, it's like we all lifted each other up. We were able to like share referrals and learn from each other. And I think, yeah, like for some reason, it is so scary as a photographer. You think people are going to copy or steal from you or like steal your clients. And like, yeah, sometimes you might lose a client to another photographer. But I also like now I understand like it's just not meant to be. Like if someone doesn't hire you, it's not the end of the world. Like you're probably there's probably another opportunity that may be more aligned for you or something. And like, it's not a reason to isolate yourself. And so I know like we just talked about this, but I really do feel like it is so important to build those connections and relationships because it is an isolating and just kind of hard to navigate career. And so like we can all be lifting each other up. And I just think like there is room for everyone and there are clients for everyone. And it is such a better experience when you have like people kind of like walking the path with you as almost like as your coworkers, like we talked about.
Yeah.
I love that.
Love
That's
it.
so great. Okay. Can you tell our audience then where to find you on social media?
Yes. So I'm probably most active on Instagram. I'm just at Aubrey Westlund. My email list is really good. I share
Awesome. Yeah.
I share a lot of like behind the scenes free advice and I really like writing emails for some reason. So that's another good place to get
Perfect.
free content. And yeah, join Stock Photo Besties if you're interested. Like it's month to month. So you can always like join and take my intro to stock photography class in there and learn for a little while and see if it's for you. I think that's like probably the best place to learn from me right now. So
perfect. Oh, that's so good. So we will put all of these links and everything in our show notes as well as into the newsletter that we send out. I would say that Whitney and I don't actually like always love sending emails, but we're really good about getting the newsletter out before our episodes.
We do send them.
We do send them. Yeah, it's funny. I always think that there's, certain aspects of business that, you don't excel at. And for me, it's always the writing emails or making the newsletters. For me, that's always like, okay, I got to like set aside some mental time for me to work on this and get myself in the headspace. So I'm very envious, Aubrey, that you're like, I like that. I'm like, oh, I wish I knew that. I wish I liked that.
One of the first like courses I invested in was, it's called Email Stars, Tarzan K. And that like completely changed my just like opinion on email newsletters and just like learning how to like weave in storytelling.
That's
awesome. If you're, I don't know, like if you enjoy writing, you might just need to learn like a better way of writing emails.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome.
But also like it's not always for everyone and that's okay too.
Right, exactly. Anything could help. I'll just put it out there. Anything could help me at this point. Well, thank you so much, Aubrey. This has been such an amazing conversation. I'm so excited to have this episode air for all of our audience. And thank you, audience, for sticking with us through 2 whole seasons. I cannot believe we are on our 3rd season now. We're so happy to have you here. Please like and subscribe. And any of your photography friends, please give them all of our info too. We love to be able to be that supportive community for you starting your business. And we are here to cheer you on as much as Aubrey cheers on all of her people in her Photo Besties community. So thank you all once again. And we will see you in 2 weeks for another new episode here on the Edit Weekly. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Okay, Photo BFFs, if you have not subscribed, do that right now so you never miss a new episode. You can also find us at theeditweekly.com where we have free resources and downloads for you to help grow your photo business.